You heard the girl say Shannon Sharp need to give her some big black babies. Weirdo. He was all for it. And I used to be in love with Shannon Sharp. Just a sidebar. That man used to have 1%. Huh?
Not with them juicy ass lips.
I didn't even care. Look, that man had 1% body fat.
Oh, okay. Okay. Not you whispering.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Lisa.
And KK's here too. And you're listening to Blacktivities,
A celebration of all things Black.
Black culture, Black history,
Black perspectives, and Black panache.
Celebrating our Blackness doesn't mean exclusion.
Everybody's invited, but you gotta come in and have a seat.
So let the Blacktivities begin. Hello again, and welcome to Blacktivities. My name is Shannon, and I have two lovely co-hosts, Lisa and Miss KK.
I thought you was gonna let me be like extra, you know, like, hey, how you doing?
Oh, girl, you do you.
That's it. That's all I got. Go ahead.
So tell me why. I was going through the YouTube analytics, and I was trying to find out like how people are finding our videos. And there's a little thing that says YouTube search terms, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me why people are going in YouTube and searching Mandingo porn and finding our Blacktivities videos.
That'll ruin my mood. I like y'all and everything, but if I'm searching for one thing and this pop up, baby, that ain't what I'm looking for. So how do y'all think that's happening?
I think it has something to do with, remember when we did that thing on tropes? And I put like some real, or I guess on YouTube, they're called shorts. I put a short up about different tropes, and one of them was Mandingo. So maybe that's how it's happening. But that was like a long time ago.
Well, welcome. We're here to exceed the pleasure. Okay, so just come on in.
You just exposing my search habits. I don't know.
Whoa, okay.
I'm single now.
Whoa, and there you have it. All right. Delroy Lindo, you better come get her. Come get her. Hands and all.
Well, it fits with today's topic because today we're talking about the fetishization of Black men. Mm-hmm. Last season, we talked about social media and relationships, and we played that video, the girl who kept saying, "Hey, Black men." And we said we were going to do a full episode on the fetishization of Black men. So this is it. That was in episode 7 of last season, if you want to go back and listen to it. But yeah. I think it's going to be a great topic. So are you guys ready for the big facts?
I'm ready. Let's go.
The fetishization of Black men goes back centuries, rooted in slavery and colonialism, when Black men were painted as hypermasculine, aggressive, and insatiable. Today, those same stereotypes show up everywhere, from Hollywood to hookup apps to the BBC trope in porn. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, once you go black, you never go back. Some of you may be thinking, what is fetishization? So let me tell you what that is. Fetishization is when someone is reduced to an object of sexual desire based on a specific aspect of their identity. In this case, we're talking about race and gender, Black males. While some of these things might sound like a compliment on the surface, it actually reinforces old harmful stereotypes, and it keeps racism alive in subtle but powerful ways. Historically, the roots of this fetishization run deep. During the era of slavery and colonialism, Black men were deliberately depicted as hypersexual and physically threatening. In the United States, for example, the myth of the Black Brute was used in the 19th and early 20th centuries to justify violence against Black men, including lynching. These racist ideas were spread through propaganda, pseudo-scientific writings, which are like the writings where they say, we're an inferior race of people. Those types of things are pseudo-scientific writings. And even in films like The Birth of a Nation in 1915, which portrayed Black men as sexual threats to white women. This wasn't just about sex, it was about control, fear, and maintaining a racial hierarchy. These stereotypes didn't disappear with time. In modern media, Black men are often cast in roles that emphasize physicality, aggression, or sexual prowess, while their emotional depth and individuality are ignored. In the world of porn, studies have shown that Black men are disproportionately featured in interracial categories, often with titles and descriptions that highlight their race and reinforce the big, Black, and dominant trope. According to a 2018 analysis published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior, Black men are more likely than men of other races to be depicted in aggressive or dominant roles in adult films. It goes beyond media to also dating and their social life. Black men frequently get comments and questions about their bodies and sexuality, everything from assumptions about the size of, their member. Y'all know what I'm talking about, to being told like they're on someone's bucket list. A 2015 study of the Journal of Sex Research found that Black men, especially in online dating environments, are more likely to receive messages that focus on racial stereotypes rather than genuine interest in who they are as people. In LGBTQ plus spaces, the fetishization of Black men is well documented. Research from the journal Culture, Health, and Sexuality in 2021 found that Black men who have sex with men are often subjected to sexual racism and objectification, with profiles on dating apps explicitly stating preferences for or against Black men, often using language that reduces them to sexual objects. However, when it comes to the numbers, the facts don't support the myths. Surveys about Black men's sex lives, number of partners, or supposed sexual stamina are often exaggerated or misrepresented. There's no scientific basis for the idea that Black men are inherently more sexual or physically endowed than men of other races. They're myths, people. So, when we talk about the fetishization of Black men, I see some faces. We're talking about a pattern that's been built over centuries, reinforced by media, and still plays out in everyday interactions. It's not just history, it's still happening in both obvious and subtle ways. I saw some faces of disagreement about the physical endowment.
I ain't saying nothing. I'm listening. I'm taking in the facts. Let's bring the facts.
Have you guys ever actually seen it happen? Like, the first time I actually saw it blatantly in my face was that video that we watched last season. Have y'all been witness to Black men being fetishized?
Of course. It happens often. Like you were stating, with porn, it happens with porn. Especially with the reference of, like, if you see in porn, they'll have where, there is like the cock old, or, the, white couple, they want the white husband want the man to come have sex with his wife, and they'll have like...
How do you know this, Lisa?
Baby, I'm grown. And they'll have like the caption of like... interracial sex, cock old, and then it'll have like Black man, the stud, you know what I mean? F's the wife or something like that. And whereas like back, ages ago, like, why are you, using that term still, when back in slavery and all those other things, the black man was the stud, you know? So, I mean, it still happens, and it's just like all other things. It's right in our face, but it's just, they don't pay attention to it, but it's still there. And men are subjected to those type of things.
I think that's true. And I did meet someone. I actually worked with a girl who was very much interested in, having an experience, to the point to where she even said that she wanted to have a baby by a black man also. So I think that what I did was I had a conversation with her, because I let her say it a few times just to make sure I knew what was happening. So it was not only her curiosity and her obsession with the experience, it also became, and I want a black baby. So I had to have a conversation about the fact that having a black child, and she was Latina. And I was like, so basically you're going to have a black child that you won't be able to protect. I said, because let me tell you, your complexion and a black man is going to make a baby that just looks black. I said, and even if they do look biracial, what you're going to end up with is still problematic, because the police aren't going to be looking at your child going, they're biracial. Maybe we should just let them be. Maybe we should just leave them alone. I said, there are a whole nother set of circumstances that go with what you're asking for. I said, be careful what you ask for, because a black child, particularly a black male child, is an endangered species. So you have to be very careful with that. And, so we had that conversation. We talked about the same thing. Like, is it the experience? Because she had, multiple kids, one by adoption and two by birth, and which is fine, but it's also like, so you want to add another one that you cannot protect. And that was problematic for me. And I said, this baby that you're talking about having, just imagine Trayvon Martin's mother and things like that, like trying to put some factuality into all this fantasy. I did emphasize to her that this is a myth. You don't necessarily have that experience with somebody that just because they're a black man. And I do think that myth has contributed to a lot in our society. I personally believe the impact of that myth has been one of the reasons Black men have been so displaced. So the fact that and don't get me wrong, Black men are hella attractive. They manifest so much masculine energy, and I love that. And I'm not talking about toxic masculinity for everybody who's getting ready to, take feathers all in an uproar. Masculinity. I like masculinity. And there is a good positive masculinity. It's not all toxic. So that masculinity that Black men typically generally emote is wonderful. That they exude rather. That masculinity is amazing. And so I think that's part of the reason they have been, marginalized, ostracized, displaced. All of the things that have happened to them have been because of who they are and their potential and capacity and ability. So this just feeds into all of that on a sexual level.
I'm so glad to have y'all back.
I'm glad to be back. And look
I
at
like doing the show by myself.
Yes. Yes.
Do y'all think that some men actually like being fetishized?
Now you heard the girl say Shannon Sharp need to give her some big black babies. Weirdo. He was all for it. And I used to be in love with Shannon Sharp. Just a sidebar. That man used to have 1%.
Lips.
Huh?
Not with them juicy ass lips he got.
I didn't even care. Look, that man had 1% body fat.
Oh, okay. Huh. Okay. Thought you whispered it.
And I was like, woo.
Okay.
Yeah. But look, now, it's just all bad. That was part of fetishization. They have these, I want to say it correctly, but like these camps, some kind of plantations, or here we go talking about plantations again, where you can go and have that experience.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
They do. Yes, they do. They do have those. And that's crazy. Why would you want to do that?
That is crazy.
Well, get you a little outfit and everything. Get you the antebellum experience.
Yep.
Black men, would you participate in the antebellum experience? Comment.
Hey, I'm finna make a show. How much should I sell the tickets for the antebellum experience? I'm finna.
Oh, no.
Let me call Dr. Umar right now. This is a problem. And I have that man's phone number right here. I will call him.
Don't tell on me. I do not want that smoke. You heard me. Hey, I do not want that smoke. He said, let me ask you a question, my sister. I just started crying.
Not crying.
Sure is. I'm woman enough to admit it.
At the end of this show, you're going to have to put my pictures up with Dr. Umar.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that'll be dope. Yeah.
I hosted an event for him out here, and he was incredible.
Nice.
But yeah, I think there are some people who people have their kinks. I don't kink shame anyone, but that one is problematic for that reason. Like, why? I just personally don't understand it. I'm sure there are people who, put your big black baby in me. Like, that's so weird.
That is weird. I've never in my life looked at a man and said, I just want to have your black babies. Like, why? Just
because we're already black.
We don't want nobody. Well, this is true, but we don't want nobody coming over into this, episode in this world and be like, oh, y'all are against interracial. No, we're not against any of that. But we do want to point out the actual title and what it is and address some of the things that may not seem kind of off or weird. And just spread awareness, draw attention, because it does happen. It does happen. It makes some men like the attention, but some men be sitting there like, what? Like, what's his name? Russell Westbrook, when he was in the locker room, like, what? Some men, like, they look at it like, why? Like, okay. I listened to this other podcaster. His name is FD Signified. And he received a comment from, I'm assuming it was a white woman. And again, I'm assuming. But the letter, hold on. It said, I wanted to share this with y'all. Hey, I'm a super huge fan, and I love the light work video you made about Ice Cube. I just have a question. Are you circumcised? And is it something culturally significant to Black people? Thank you. I love your videos.
That goes back to the big facts. Said they get asked questions about it.
It's random. That man talks about everything random. Like we do. And she decides to just jump in and just be like, hey, are you circumcised? Like, what that got to do with this man coming with a very, very, very amazing podcast, and he's very intelligent. Okay. And he even have people on there that be dropping them 3-point star words, crit words like KK do. You know what I mean? So I'm talking about like mad Scrabble points. Okay. So I'm just sitting here like, why? Why do that? Like, it's inappropriate. Just listen to the content.
When you talk about interracial relationships, like, I think it's different. Fetishization is different from like genuine attraction or appreciation of a Black man. I feel like when you are attracted to someone as an individual and not just like some particular physical trait or experience that you think that you're going to have with them, then that's different. Fetishization, I feel like if I was a man, like that would be a turn off for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think fetishization in and of itself is a turnoff. I mean, I don't want to deter from the focal point being Black men right now, but the fact that fetishization, I mean, Black women are fetishized.
True.
Sarah Bartman.
Right. And there are interracial relationships now that are based on fetishization. The fact that a person can be totally racist but still sleep with you, that has nothing to do, and have your babies. The person who called the Starbucks worker a bitch ass nigga, I don't know if you need to edit that out. She was a white woman with Black children married to a Black man and said that she could say it because of that. This is who he has children by. So they don't have to love you. I mean, to have sex with you. And it's more about control in some instances. Sometimes it's about fetishization. But I believe that people latch on to something. So it could be skin tone, it could be body parts, it could be whatever, and that is what's first and put in the forefront, and that's what people how fetishization is, just like you described in the big facts. It would be nice if we could have had a Black man on here talking about the experience of being fetishized and what that looks like for them. Men don't often. My experience is that men are really just now starting to talk about their experiences that weren't so positive.
Since we don't have a man, this is the perfect opportunity to ask the men out there, the Black men, to comment and tell us, have you experienced this? How did it make you feel? What was this experience like? Tell us in the comments. We want to know.
Yes, definitely. That way we can share it and talk about it.
Do you think that we, as Black people, reinforce these stereotypes of Black men?
I think so. Culturally, we have embraced some things. And who knows, maybe Black men have done this for that reason, and of course, you have some Black women that's like, I need 6 feet tall, 6 inches or more, And so we put those things in the forefront. I think sometimes we do.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I have to agree
music
on that.
And culture too.
Definitely.
Like, think about music videos and things like that.
I mean, we the ish. Like, why not? Like we the ish. Not saying that there no one else is, but it's just like, it's very, I mean, to be an inspiration is amazing. So sometimes like the feedback and the way people present, and the compliments, it comes off as a compliment, but in reality, it is like this fetishization where, I mean, that person don't really care about you like that. Sometimes it is like that. I'm not saying every time, but there is like that person that really don't. They just want that deep.
Black men are sexy though.
Yeah. They are.
Yeah.
And is, as my children say, and is.
And I saw something recently about how Black men are the most attractive or desired or something like that. I have to agree. Because, I mean, if you put that picture up of me and Dr. Umar, like, I think he was just so, and he smelled good. I'm going to tell you that. He smells really good.
Dang.
Don't you have a picture with David Banner too?
I do have a picture with David Banner. Look at her clutching her imaginary pearls. I need one with what's his name? Mahashara Ali.
Mahershala.
Butcher his name. Mahershala Ali.
Okay.
Because woo. And yeah, I need a picture with him and Method Man. So, but we can keep going. I mean, we can keep going forever. I just find them to be absolutely divine in every single solitary
I just want to
way.
take the time out and just say hello to Nas. How you doing? That's it. Nothing else. Nothing but just, hey, how you doing? That's it.
Hey, and he's a writer too. So y'all already got stuff in
Creative
common.
thinking, just we can get together, collab, just something basic, just that's it. Nothing big. Simple. That's it.
I'm sure he would rip up a poetry mic. Yeah.
He would.
Yeah.
He really would. So.
I have a question for y'all about this whole thing.
Okay.
Have you had conversations with men, whether it's the man in your life or in some relationship somehow with you, that you've been able to have an up close and personal conversation like this? And if so, what have they said directly to you?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
And I think, you know what? I think we need to come back to this. I really do. I think we need to come back to this.
I am hoping somebody will come through in the comments.
Yeah, that is. That is. Come tell us. Come join the conversation. Enlighten us.
I have had the conversation.
Okay. What was that like?
And so the conversation was really about the objectification in that moment did not feel right. So it wasn't like, because, okay, I'm flattered, yada, yada, yada. But the objectification is what felt uneasy for him. And then I know that there was somebody who was like, it was an older white woman and he was young and was objectifying him. So, and it's the fetishization, the whole, and I keep trying to distinguish, right? So it's the, everything that's in the mind and everything that's out there about what could potentially happen. But the approach is what was the big turnoff, if you understand what I'm saying. The approach, the sense of entitlement to your body and your body parts. Right. That's what was the turnoff. Now, I'm not saying people weren't like, I don't care.
Welcome to being a woman.
Huh?
Welcome to being a woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Come here, let me holler at you.
But I think it goes back to, if you want to look at it from a historical perspective, we talk about what happened with Black women, how we have not ever really had autonomy over our bodies. That's why I have a different take on certain things. I don't believe Black people in general, but particularly Black men have had autonomy over their bodies since colonization. Because again, these were men who were studied out like horses. Exactly. They were studied out like horses and dogs. And sometimes even, as we know, with their own family members to create more enslaved people. So we have that history, and that may very well be where the myth came from. But whatever it is, I don't know. I just believe when there's smoke, there's fire. But anyway, that's what happened. And so because they've not had that, and then you're still impacted. You're still impacted because this situation, this thing lives on generation to generation. And so how do you interact with this expectation when there are people who still view you through that lens? That's what Black men are dealing with. And it's either going to be, okay, I'm down, or you know what? Pause. We're not doing that. You're not going to objectify me because of your sense of entitlement. So probably different men have had different responses. The people that I have talked to in particular have said it's the objectification and sense of entitlement that was a turnoff. Free sex, cool. I mean, opportunity, great. But the approach and the entitlement.
Right.
Speaking of studded out, do y'all remember when Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, was sitting there talking to Jamie Foxx, and he was on a live, and Jerry Jones starts going down these lists of attributes for one of the players, and he's like talking about all like his size or whatever, and then he said something inch penis or whatever the term, and Jamie Foxx was like fumbling trying to turn it off real quick.
What?
That story went away real quick.
What?
That's part of the job.
He just randomly like blurted that out with all his like physical attributes. But them kind of stories go away real quick.
Go gadget Google, baby. I'm finna get. I got some homework to do. Really?
I don't remember that.
Y'all gotta look it up.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still there. They might have like scrubbed the internet for it or whatever. But I think this was a couple of years ago. It also reminds me.
Jamie had a stroke right after that. So what that tell you?
No, see, that's not fair. Because I thought that, but I was like, I ain't finna get on here and do conspiracy theory. Shannon gonna get me. But see, you said it for me. Thank you.
Look, about 2 years ago.
I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, but I do remember that.
Lisa, your face.
I ain't saying nothing. You said it for me. I was sure over here thinking it like, baby, he was in diapers and everything. So,
have y'all seen the show Cross? I don't know if we talked about this. It's good actually, but Aldous Hodge, y'all know who he is? He
KK know who he is.
Of course I do.
He's the main character, Cross, and he's like a forensic psychologist and a homicide detective. And so there's this scene where he's like interrogating this guy who is like racist or whatever, and the guy's like spitting out all these
Do they have
stereotypes.
They only had that one episode.
They came out with a new season. No, they had a whole season.
See, whenever I was watching it on, it only had that one episode because I was hooked the way he walked in there and interviewed that man. And that man face after he realized like, yo, like.
He said, you want to talk about stereotypes.
Yeah. That is good. KK, you need to watch that. That was a good show. Good.
I like it.
What is it on? Don't worry about it. I'm going to search
Prime.
Prime.
It was on Prime.
See, I was watching it on
Hodge has big hands and feet.
I'm telling Delroy. We are not even finna do this.
Okay, we're talking about fetishization of black men.
I'm telling. Straight like that.
I'm not helping at all.
Finna nip this in the bud today.
All right, Lisa, we need to move on to your piece.
I'm sorry. I'm in snitch mode right now. I'm distracted. All right. This one's called Dear Black Man. Dear Black Man, this is the time. Time to recognize your lack of appreciation, though you are powerful. Your broad shoulders admired with your length rather than your true talent. Strength with ability taken for granted and acts as a main ingredient of your presence. Resentment lies within your acceptance of your existence. See, I respect your mind and the destruction of the subjective necrophilia. With skin similar to yours, please be cognizant of how I'm attracted to your capacity. Evolution of decades to dominate, far from the buck or stud others still feed into their seeds. Your propensity more than the menace to society. And yes, you like it gushy, but my true attraction sanctioning the juice mentality. In short, you are far more than a visual. You, sir, you are the king. You are everything.
So let's do our call to action for the culture. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I'll get it out the way. My call to action is, I know they tell us to not be so sensitive to certain things. We should pay attention to treatment. We should pay attention to extra things. Don't worry about them saying you're extra sensitive. It's all about respect. And you're going to respect me as a human being. So you should not be asking someone if they're circumcised. Respect their craft. And we as Black people, we need to just pay attention to those and put people in their place. And even though some may take it as a compliment, most of the time it's not a compliment. So just look at the big picture. Be woke. They're afraid of woke, remember? So be woke. That's it.
So my call to action is for the brothers, and that is for you to live your truth, for you to exist being the best version of yourself that you can, whatever that looks like. And know that Black women love you and support you regardless of your choices. We're always here and we always have been. But live your truth. And I hope you can take autonomy over yourself, much in the same way Black women have. There's this thing about you guys aren't going to be used by women. So know your worth, King. Know your worth, King. We support it. Know your worth, not just when it comes to us, but the rest of the world too. That's my call to action to you, brothers.
Love it. I am calling the culture to think more about how we might be perpetuating stereotypes and not do that. Let's treat our Black men like the kings that they are and respect their depth and intellect. Because Black men are not just attractive, they're also very smart, brilliant, intellectual. So let's not objectify them, but if we treat them like the kings that they are, hopefully the world will see that and follow suit. If you enjoyed this episode, click that plus in Apple Podcast or that subscribe button in YouTube to make sure that you keep getting these episodes. We also love to hear what you love about the show in the comments and in your reviews. But until we meet again, you are muted, Lisa.
My bad. King and queens keep doing big things.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta leave that in there, please. I just knew I ate, baby. I said it. I had attitude in there. And then to hear that I was muted, I was like, yeah. Yeah, I'm wilding.